everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chat with Gary. Gary, it's been a relatively good week and a half, apart from the Europa game.
That's it, Chai. Fifth place trophy. We're there.
uh,
Arsenal in the mud.
but I think we
Oh,
got lucky
God.
there. But let's talk about that. Let's talk also about where we are in the league. I think it's been a good week and a half. Good 4 games unbeaten in the league. What do you think were the reasons why we find ourselves here as opposed to when we started off with two massive losses against Brentford and Brighton? What do you think has changed? How do you think Ten Hag's kind of mainly changed the attitude, and then how the players are responding to his instructions?
Yeah, look, it's quite obvious that when we took in Ten Hag, it was going to be a case of him trying to embed his tactics, his philosophy to the team. So naturally, you go into the first 2 games, naturally we lose.
Yep.
Didn't play the best, got thrashed by Brentford. And then you think to yourself, look, is there any way we can do any worse?
Mm.
And fair enough, we didn't. We improved. We went to the Liverpool game, probably played our best football in the
Mm-hmm.
season right now, I'd say. Absolutely dominated Liverpool. Could have probably added 2 or 3 goals, but equally we could have conceded,
Yep.
1 or 2 goals on the other side. So overall, I think it was a good result, a fair result. And then we spoke about this, I guess, on WhatsApp, and we said, look, our away record has been horrendous. I can't remember the
Yeah.
last time we've put a string of victories together, away games.
Yeah.
And then we go to Southampton, get a 1-0. And then who's the other team that we beat?
Leicester.
Leicester, another 1-0. Fantastic result. I can't remember the last time we won 2 games back to back away. So really happy. And then the key one, Chai, Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Arsenal were unbeaten. Okay,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Going to the game, Arsenal were favorites.
Mm-hmm.
They had put together 5 wins. They play really good football, as we saw in the game. Really good football. They took the game to us. They
Mm-hmm.
did what Arsenal always used to do when they played against us. Played really good football, but they were basically gutless up front. They
Yeah.
couldn't put away their chances, right? And then we had 2 counterattacks, which basically got us a win, and that's it. So we've got the 5th place now. We've got the trophy.
Yeah.
I don't hear
Yeah.
anything else. As far as I'm concerned, the season's done.
I think if he says this is the end of the season, I'll take where we are on the league table and then say, okay, you know what, let's call it quits. But look, I think there are subtle changes with the teams that played Brentford and Brighton to what played in the. I think we're probably moving towards a more stabilized 11. What do you think of that? With the back four being a little more assured, I think we after a very long time, I think we can conveniently assume who's going to start at the back. I think that's become a. I think those 5 people I think are key now. Well, De Gea as well, but yeah, just want to get your thoughts on how the back four have settled, and do you see that being a constant back four moving forward, or
Yeah,
should
look,
it
I
be?
think the fall picks itself. The only question
Mm-hmm.
is how are we going to go track towards the end of the season when injuries not amount.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's quite obvious that we don't have squad depth. Chai. We look
Yes.
at the Europa League game. It was probably the worst game I've seen us play in a long time.
Yep.
Not taking into account last season, but this season at least, I think that one performance was probably the most boring I've seen us play
Yep.
in terms of attacking, defending. There was just nothing in the game.
Yeah.
And the question that I've got is the attack. I think we're getting to a point where there's serious concerns with the attack.
Yeah.
I look at, going to the season, I had the belief that Jadon Sancho was going to light up, the league, is going to
Yeah.
do madness. And then Rashford, I thought, was going to do the opposite. And what I've seen right now over the last, 5 or 6 games that we've played,
Yeah.
it's the opposite, right? Rashford's re-energized. Clearly the manager likes him. The effort levels are there. He's running. He may not have the technical capabilities, but at least he's putting a shift in.
Yeah.
When I look at Jadon Sancho, and as great a footballer is, the effort levels that I see of him,
Yeah.
that there, there's something that's not right there.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but when I look at him, like he barely lasts 90 minutes, Chai.
Yeah.
60 minutes into a game, he's tired, he's huffing and puffing, and I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, as a professional player, look,
Mm-hmm.
all you've got to do when you wake up is make sure you eat healthy, you drink lots of fluids, you do your workout, and then you sleep well. If you can't do these four things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as a football player, professional football
Mm-hmm.
player, then I've got serious concerns about attitude. I
I
don't know
mean,
what it is.
you bring out a good point, right? So I get Jadon Sancho has been. I think we all expected him to light the league up, considering what he did in the preseason, and we watched him play, and he was miles apart when it came to his skill on the ball, etc. Right during the preseason, I think he had a really good preseason. Now, obviously, expectations are full, but I think there's a subtle change in the style of play that Ten Hag's employing. I think if when you look at the teams that he's played in Dortmund and stuff like that, I think they were it's all one touch football. It's predominantly his heat map would be on the left hand side or the right hand side, wherever in the wing, but in the final third, right?
Mhm.
But if you look at what he's doing at United, I think he's picking up a ball very deep. I think he's picking up probably in the near the halfway line, and he has to make that run or he's drive to the final third, which I don't think is his strength. I think he'll be really
Mm,
good, in my opinion, when Marshall's fit, or even with
yeah.
Anthony there. I think when we start holding onto the ball a lot more, and then we progress it much. Um, I think in a counter-attacking team, I don't see where he fits, but I
Mm,
think he'll be a better off when we play with a lot of possession and maybe slow down the transition into attack, right? So that's
yeah.
where I think he'll be a little bit more influential. He's probably,
Mm,
you know what I think. At least not. I mean, keeping the Europa League defeat aside, I think the one thing we've done is we've been very sure at the back, and then
yeah.
there's the midfield's doing its job. Um, I mean, looking at Casemiro play over the week or in the Europa League, I'm not sure if he's going to be starting anytime soon.
Can you believe it? McTominay is going to bench Casemiro. I can't
Correct.
believe I'm saying this.
I,
It's
look,
crazy.
I don't think he had a good game, and I think McTominay still starts in the Premier League, right? But the
Mhm.
one thing that will change the way we play if Casemiro does come back into the team, and Ericsson plays a little bit more forward with
Mm,
uh, less of a. I think he's coming back to pick up the ball a lot more. Ericsson. I think if Ericsson's a little bit more
yeah.
forward in the field, I think there'll be better link up play with the forwards, and I think that's where Jadon Sancho will come into his own.
Yeah.
That's basically what I think, right? Um,
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right because obviously we tried to play with the IX philosophy first two games.
mhm.
We got
Yeah,
thumped by Brentford,
yep,
and so the first order of business is to shore up the defense, right?
correct.
And so right now with the players we have, especially the goalkeeper, we're
Yep,
not set out to play for the back child. It's
nope.
impossible because De Gea is not he's not an Allison or an Addison who's very comfortable with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
His first order of business is to clear his lines, keep the ball away, happy days. So I understand why Ten Hag has gone with a counter-attacking style of play.
Mm,
But just to go to your point about Sancho, look, I understand that the style of play may not fit his attributes. That's a
mm-hmm.
good, fair enough assessment. But at the very least, you should be able to last
Yeah,
an entire 90 minutes.
right.
You've gone through preseason,
Mm,
you've played almost every single game.
mm,
I don't know what it is, but whether the intensity of league is getting to him and is not able to adapt.
yeah,
And he's struggling. I think he's struggling. So I
yeah,
don't want to go too. I don't want to be too negative because he has
yeah,
scored two goals. I think
yep.
I think there's a lot of time in the season for him to come back and get back into the sort of form he was in preseason. But I do feel that Ten Hag has seen that, and I think he'll be addressing that soon. So I think when Martial comes back, I think Martial would start up front. I think
Yeah.
Rashford starts on the left, and I think Anthony starts on the right. And Sancho will
I
have to, fight with either Rashford or Anthony to get back in the team.
correct, and Look, there. I don't want to make it about Jadon Sancho the show as
Yeah,
well. So let's. I mean,
yeah,
it's not the biggest problem that we have in our team just now,
yeah,
right? I think
yeah. True.
he's one of the, but it's talking about squad
We've
depth.
got
I
so
think
many
you're just
problems,
adding
Shai. He's probably
exactly
the bottom of the list right
the
now. I
bottom
feel
of the
like let's
list.
not talk.
So talking about squad depth, I think we need to address what we saw. I mean, yes, the positives from the league and stuff like that. I think when quote unquote a second strings team was fielded for the Europa game, I think there was a lot of. I mean, I can't I can't believe how bad the football was. Now, this is important because we have a World Cup coming later this year. Now,
Mm,
most of the first teamers will probably be away for the World Cup and stuff like that. What, and it's a tiring season, right? It's fixture after fixture after fixture. We play Thursday, Sunday because we had a shit season last season. That is my primary concern with United. Come
mm,
December, what are we going to do, right? I would have, I would have Oh, I would have expected Ten Hag to play the likes of Zidane Iqbal and stuff like that, or probably someone who could then replace some of the people who are going away for the World Cup.
mm.
But yeah, squad depth is an issue. Now, where do you
Yeah.
think our squad lacks the most in terms of depth? I mean, in terms of midfield defense, where do you think the biggest issue is?
I look. I think it's all over the place. But if you had to make me choose positions where we are severely depleted,
Depleted.
I think it'll be defense and also in midfield. Because I mean, let's start with defense. Well, the Europa League game. Okay, we take off Varane, we take off Martinez, we bring on Lindelof and Maguire. The night match, I've still got trauma from last season,
Yeah.
and seeing these two clowns in there just kind of made me realize how there was no way we were going to do anything last season with these two clowns in defense.
No.
And I think Maguire, the problem I have with him, look, he's got the aerial threat, but he's so slow. He moves like a tanker, he
Right.
turns like a truck, and basically that just slows down the transition from defense to attack. And I think we get caught out so many times on the counter as well with his pace. I think he's just not going to work for us. I think
It's
that much is clear. I think Ten Hag knows that he's made the change anyway.
yeah,
Maguire's on the bench. If Varane is fit, Maguire sits on bench.
yeah.
So for me, I think we've got to get another defender. I don't know why we sent Bailly off, Chai. I mean, Bailly could
I,
have been one of those players who could have been a perfect squad player for us. His
uh,
pace, his aggressiveness,
yeah,
the intensity. I think he would complement Martinez so well in the defense.
yeah.
I would have just thought maybe we keep him a bit longer. Um,
You're absolutely right. I mean, I think there are a couple of things talking about Bay right now. You came back and you obviously heard the comments or the rumors that he's supposed to have made with regards to Man United favoring English players and all of that. Now I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
mm,
he has a point, but
mm,
then look, it's up for debate anyway. So, by I think he would have been a perfect player for the Europa League games. He just would have been. There's no doubting that. You have the two defenders who mainstream who play the league, but then just to give them an odd game, I think Baye would have been a perfect replacement. Now, when I look at my bench, we have the same problems sulking on the bench from last season. Luke Shaw, Maguire, and Lindelof. These three collectively lost us a lot of games last season, right?
yeah,
And throw De Gea in the mix, and that's a colossal defense.
yeah,
What also bothers me a little bit is up front, right?
mm,
Now, Ronaldo for some reason he's not as sharp as he used to be like at least a year ago. He doesn't have that sharpness. I don't know if it's because of lack of match fitness, etc. I don't know.
mm.
I have my serious concerns about how we're going to play up front if Ronaldo is injured and if Rashford gets injured. Who the hell plays number 9? Martial finds himself injured every other week. Looks like.
Yeah. I look. I don't know. I thought that was Ronaldo's worst performance over the game. I think I was shocked, Shai, because there were so many chances that he had where so many opportunities to score the goal, and for whatever reason, I think it's whether it's lack of match readiness, fitness. whether his head was not in the Europa. I mean, let's face it, this guy did
Mm.
everything under the sun to not play Europa League. The first thing that Ten
Yeah.
Hag does is puts him in the starting lineup for Europa League. So I don't know. The body language was just not right for me, and I just felt that I think we've got to move away from Ronaldo. There's
I think
no two
so.
ways about it. I think he's done. He doesn't want to be there. I don't want him to be there. Let's just call it good and let's just part ways. But the
Exactly.
question I have is, if Ronaldo leaves, then
Hmm.
again the question of squad depth. Martial is perpetually injured.
Yep.
Rashford can play up front maybe every game or two, but
Yep.
it's not his best position by no
Yep.
means. So the question is, we if Ronaldo does leave in January, we need to go in and get a striker.
Striker.
There's no two ways about it.
Absolutely. And I, we need someone who makes those intelligent runs into the box. And the reason I say that is Southampton, there were so many balls from Ericsson that, you know, we have good wingers now. So strikers as a strong number nine. I mean, the mold of Haaland and Lukaku, or just, those kind of traditional number nine who make those intelligent runs, and they'll be look very keen to get a tap in and stuff like that. So those kind of people we need. Otherwise, we just find ourselves like gaping holes in the center, right? Oh,
Mm,
man, there was look. We can only go so far with this team, but
yeah.
I mean, what should our expectations be moving forward?
Expectation is have no expectations, Shy. We go into the season, take game by game, just be happy
Yeah,
we're playing better football, just be happy knowing that
yeah,
there's a good manager out there who
yeah,
will take or make hard decisions in
hmm,
terms of dropping players who are not performing,
yeah,
um, drop off star players who don't want to be there,
yeah,
and just instill discipline in the team. That's all I really want from this season. This was going to be a write-off season for me as far as I was concerned. As bad as it sounds,
yeah,
I was not expecting us to win anything. There was just too many positions we needed to fill this summer.
yeah.
We got the bulk of business done. We got six players in, but I still think there is significant need of strengthening come next summer. So for me, I'm quite calm. I accept the situation we're in, so I'm not going to get angry over losses and all that.
Yeah.
I know that we are going to get to a point where we will hopefully get to where City and Liverpool are. It may
Hmm.
take some time, but I think that will happen sooner than we all expect it to be. So I think come January, I think we would be in a lot better position,
Hmm.
assuming that a lot of these players, key players, don't get injured. I
Yeah.
think I think we will be in a strong position to hopefully challenge for top four. If
Yeah.
not, I think yeah, hopefully we win the Europa League and get in Champions League.
That's it. That's it,
Yeah.
right? So I think our priorities should be a top four finish and a trophy, because I think the club's just desperate for one right now. I think
Mm,
this the more years we go trophy less, the less people will remember what it takes to win, and that's my worry, right? I
yeah.
think we just need to focus and prioritize. I couldn't care less if it's Carabao Cup, if it's a fucking FA Cup. I don't Europa League. I don't give two shits, right?
Mm,
We just crying out for a trophy, and I think that'll build confidence in
exactly.
the
Yeah.
things moving forward.
To,
Before
to
we,
be fair, to be
Mhm.
fair, we did win one trophy already. We beat
Oh yeah,
Liverpool in
yeah,
the Bangkok
Liverpool,
Cup,
Thailand,
so we have one
yeah,
trophy under our belt. We just need two
correct,
more for us to get a grand
triple.
treble. Just two more. Come on. One Europa League, one FA Cup. I'll take it. That's it.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, one quick question. I think
Mm.
about there are obviously not going to be fixes this weekend. I think Crystal Palace we play them next week. What do you think Ten Hag will do with regards to the team? Do you think you'll see a similar starting lineup to what was played against Arsenal, or do you see some changes coming through?
For sure, he's going to go with the strongest team because we've got the Europa League fixture, which is Sheriff.
Hmm.
I don't even know how you say that. The second name. They're
Yeah.
based in Moldova, I believe. And yeah, look, there's no reason to not play your strongest team.
Yeah.
Premier League effectively going to be cancelled this week and next week when the official, the funeral ceremony happens for the Queen. So
Yep.
I just play the best team out there for the
Yep.
Sharif game, and hopefully we get 3 points because I think we really need to
We
get the
really
three
need that
points.
momentum.
Yeah, we need to get that momentum going and yeah, get to a position where we top the group hopefully and get to the later stages or win the trophy in the end. Because
Yep.
with the squad quality we've got to at least be in the semis or finals. I'd say.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Yep. So it'll be interesting going forward.
yeah.
The biggest question on everybody's mind is McTominay or Casemiro. So that I don't know where we find ourselves here. It's just
McTominay, gosh, I don't know, man. It might be a dream. You'll wake up tomorrow and you realize that this is all a dream. But
yes.
for now, yes, McTominay is going to bench Casemiro. And unfortunately, that is the fact. So we just got to live with it. All right. Yeah. So look, Ty, good chat. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens. Hopefully, we get that win next week, and yeah, we're in a better position to top the group. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please hit the like on the like button. Please subscribe if you're new. Please put your comments below. And lastly, thanks for watching. This is Chai with Gary.